coming to you from 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island, of all places. And we are also live on the internet at JiggyJaguar.com. 50-plus AM/FM stations across the country and around the world. We have got Negative Tendencies with us today. We have Weapon X, Johnny, guitars and bass. And we are scheduled to have Dave, drums, producer, video maker, and Scott, the songwriter, vocals, keys, and guitar. So far, we just have two of the gentlemen joining us for this program. But gentlemen, tell us a little bit about your parts and Negative Tendencies.
Well, basically, it started as a project where I've been writing songs for a long time, and I got together with Dave, who I'd worked with before, who is a great drummer and also like has great producer skills. And he said we should ask Weapon X in on this. And I've also worked with him on projects, so we did. And so the three of us met online, and we started making music, and we didn't stop. We kept rolling.
Fantastic. Negative Tendencies with us today. They join us live here on our broadcast. So Weapon X, talk to us a little bit about your background in the music business.
Well, I've been playing with the band Social Spit since 1980, yeah, and we've been off and on, and we're officially on hiatus right now. I talked to our singer for a bit. He might even want to play some shows again, but there were times when I just put down the instruments, like in the early 90s to about 96, I didn't play anything, and then I started getting together the drummer and then bass player of Social Spit, and we recorded a lot of songs. I put a lot of those up on our Reverb Nation page, but then I started getting involved. I heard about this thing called MP3.com, and I contacted them, and the woman who worked there, her name was on the top of my tongue, and then it just blanked out. Michelle asked me to moderate the tech support forum because I was good at connecting the people who were having problems with the technicians over there, and so I helped figure out a bunch of problems, and I wrote an FAQ instructing people how to make the best MP3s, because they only allowed 128 kilobytes per second, which is very low resolution. I mean, well, it sounds okay, but when you extract the music and put it into a big system, it doesn't sound very good. But during this time, I would float through the other forums at MP3, and I saw this guy, like you're rattling people's cages, Father Time. This guy just pissed me off. I mean, like he set me off like nobody else. I mean, he like, to me, it sounded like he didn't know anything about any genre. He thought he could invade rap. He thought he was this big rocker, and I would listen to his songs, and I would hurl. And because of the quality, mostly. But later on, I started hearing him do a lot of collaborations with this woman who called herself Ziza, which she was just like this other. She was both of them together were just like they would interrupt everybody's lives every day, and we got into huge online fights, like flame wars, where our friend Rod Underhill, said, "Hey, you guys have to stop doing this crap." So then I said, "Okay, Scott, send me." Well, actually, we figured out his name. I looked up his website, and I just pulled up the records, and there was the owner's name and phone number right there, and I kept it to myself, but then I had this friend Helen, and I mentioned it to her, and she just goes and posts it. You don't put information like that out into the general public. She just went right out there and doxed him. I guess that's what the word is now.
Yeah, I was really notorious my solo career as Father Time, and it
definitely got a lot of attention.
That was the start of it. People, in the real world haven't heard anything about this, but Father Time and Ziza basically were the biggest, most annoying names in indie music for a while. But that was like it. But then it all it turned good with Negative Tendencies, though, because putting my songs behind my songs the best rhythm section like ever. I mean, I wouldn't be able to say that if John Bonham or Charlie Watts or Keith Moon still was alive, but I think I got the next best thing when Dave came in and with his producer skills, and Johnny is like the all-time guitar Swiss Army knife. He plays bass for us, and he plays great lead guitar for us. We hear in our song "Year of the Snake," where he plays what we call legendary guitar solo, but his guitar is always prominent in our tracks, and the combination of the three of us took my songs over the top, and we're pretty much known on Twitter and other places as the best living band, or the best. We've been called the best band in America, but there's just no rock culture anymore, so we can't transcend past this.
Well, we're trying to rebuild our following over on Blue Sky now, and we've made a dent over there. But as I was going to say, I was going to finish up this. I had been in this perpetual flame war with Scott, and then one day I said, "Look, just give me a song, and let's see what we can do with it." And he gave me this song, All Along, and I took that song, and he already had the rhythm guitar and vocals. I added fake drums and a bass line and the guitar part, and it turned out so well. It was one of the best songs that was.
There's another site called.
So I knew
it doesn't really exist anymore, called Artist Launch, and our song got so many hits on this site that it was #1 site-wide, but because one site owner was corrupt, he put this girl's songs above ours. He put her at number 1, 2, and 3, and we were at number 4. But my other friend who became my co-founding partner of a pretty huge indie music site, which is now called indiemusicpeople.com, which has also been championed by
Artist Line. Yeah, we redesigned Artist Line.
Well, Dave started a new site with me bringing in the artists, and it was called Independent Artist Company. Now it's called indiemusicpeople.com. We've been championed by Pete Townsend, and so we have like over 30,000 artists, but it's
yeah, we got some good people there.
But our whole indie music, trip, it's unknown to most of the world, but it's been happening ever since the internet,
We have got Negative Tendencies with us today. They join us live here on our big program. So we are going to go to your first track of the broadcast day, Missing Link. Talk to us a little bit about Missing Link. Then we're going to play it here in a few moments.
Okay, it's actually a combination.
That's like
of two
3 songs and long. Yeah.
It's a combination of 2 different songs. One was called "Surfacing in the Real Wilderness," and the other was called "The Missing Link." Now, "The Missing Link" I wrote in a strange way. I don't know if you are familiar with the concept of automatic writing. It's kind of a mystical thing, but you make your mind go blank and you write down on a tablet or a notebook whatever comes into your head first. And that's how I wrote the lyrics to "Missing Link." And it turns out they made a lot of sense. They're much more wise and philosophical than lyrics I could have wrote myself. But I channeled them in from somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I consider this our magnum opus because it's a beloved song for our fans, and it's just it takes it till it gets to the "Missing Link" part where it really gets great. But it's a crusher of a track.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to do this. We are going to place you guys on a brief hold. And when we come back, we will have more, but it's "Missing Link," and it is right now here on your big broadcast. It's Negative Tendencies, "Missing Link," and we are going to see if we can get that to play.
Sun rises in the east, goes down in the west. You're a little bit scared, a little hair up on your chest. They threw you to the wolves, put you to the test. Seems you can't have more, and you won't settle for less. Try to hold your head up, you try to do your best. You used to be so happy, now you're so depressed. Then one day you wake up, I think you know the rest. You're surfacing in the real wilderness. Surfacing in the real wilderness. In the real wilderness. Surfacing in the real wilderness. Wheels are turning slower, your heartbeat is increased. You think you're part man, you know you're part beast. Or a cog in the machine that's long obsolete. Are you lost in the woods? Medicine is free. Surfacing in the real wilderness. In the real wilderness. In the real wilderness. Surfacing in the real wilderness. In the real surfacing in the real wilderness. He wanted to see, he wanted to know. Born in the metropolitan jungle, he was running fast, but it was still too slow. Faces floating, north and south, cars and buses, that ugly sound. When his feet first hit the ground, he knew that he could never go without flow. The logic is a whim of the prehistoric human. Then we're back where we began. When a fool runs out of questions, then it's out of his control. There's no time for easy listening for the one without a soul. He is the missing man, is the missing link. He doesn't know what he should. You don't know what to think. State of independence, there's no place for him last man, and everybody wanted to understand. He's not about to figure out what comes next in the master plan. Because he takes the chances that you could never take. Instantly he feels the things you somehow come to fake. It seems you're so afraid to bend, but he would dare to break. And if the moment caught you sleeping, he was wide awake. He is the missing man, is the missing link. Doesn't know what he should. You don't know what to think. Or is he on the brink? What do you think? What do you think? He's the missing man, is the missing link. He doesn't know what he should. You don't know what to think. Or is he on the
That is Missing Link. It is Negative Tendencies. We are going to go back to them. They are going to join us here on the telephone here in just a few moments. And we go back to Negative Tendencies. They're going to join us back live here on our big program. So, Missing Link, talk to us a little bit about the reaction that Missing Link has gotten from the fans and the friends and everybody.
Well, I thought when we put it out there, it was kind of like it was deeper than they probably expected from us, because we had done a lot of basic rock tracks, and we do our political music also, but it is more philosophical, and putting that out allowed us to expand the styles of music we do, because now we've done some more poetic songs since then. We recently did one called Hairpin Turn that the guys turned into a psychedelic classic, but it was basically just a poem I wrote. It was kind of like a Walt Whitman sort of thing. And but Missing Link, the lyrics, it kind of helps you deal with the society the way it is today, where in some people's opinion, stupid people are taking over the country and so on. but man is the missing link. If you look at it that way, it's like everyone can get better, and the country can get better, and are we on the brink yet of being a higher being? Well, that's for us to decide,
Well, what do you think about that, Weapon X?
Well, like this year, it was just looking really bad for Biden, and and then he pulls out, and I think, I don't know, that it's so now we've got a convicted felon. This guy was convicted of 34 counts, and it's like apparently everybody wants to ignore rule of law. And we in 2020, we heard bells ringing across the world, and every other country was joyous, and like I didn't hear anything like that on November 6th. It was stone silence. Like I heard that the bell, like, are there bells in Notre Dame? Like I heard they were ringing and ringing, but after this, everybody was just stunned. And then there's, we had heard that so many new people had registered to vote. So there should have been almost 200 million votes, but there wasn't anything even close to that. I mean, and then we heard this little story that all of the votes were gathered up and sent to the tabulators by Elon Musk's Starlink, and then he crashed several of his satellites like the next day. So there are things, there are things going on here that need to be looked at. Yeah, but I don't think they're going to be looked at.
People don't want to say it, but there's a fair chance this election was rigged because they don't want to say it because Trump told the big lie when his election wasn't rigged. But there were a lot of odd things happening. The one thing was the assassination attempt, which many of us thought was a stunt from the get-go.
That was baloney.
but
if it really happened, where's the injury to his ear? There's no hole in his ear. I've got this photograph of a sailor. He's got a giant bullet hole in his ear, from the same exact type of shooting. And Trump, he's got nothing. There's no injury on his ear. And I hear people saying, "Oh, well, there's a flap of skin and they fixed it." Well, nope, there's nothing there. Even if he had
when his head popped up from the Secret Service agents, and they allowed him to show his whole upper torso and his head, I knew there was something fishy about it. But as far as the election goes, though, Trump was out in his rallies for a couple weeks ahead of time saying he doesn't need any more votes. Like, what is that?
And then Elon Musk, he was, at the gathering, and he left 5 hours early because he said, "Well, I already know how this is going to end." He knew the result beforehand. How, huh? Because he's had his fingers in the pie.
But it looks like we're not going to be able to do anything about that, which is why I hope to be doing less political music, but I keep writing political songs. But
so why do you write political songs? Let's talk a little bit about that. What is the process behind that?
Well, I was into politics from the time I was in high school because I was a president of the debating team, and I've been into politics the whole time, and it just I followed it closely. In fact, I actually wrote a political song about Ronald Reagan when he first got elected. Before the first political song I ever wrote, I wrote right before he got elected. He got elected, between the time of him getting elected and Inauguration Day, I wrote a song about him called January 20th because I was so freaked out that Reagan was going to be president. So I've been writing political songs for a long time. But then one day I wrote two at the same time, which were one called Kavanaugh and one called Statue, which was about the Statue of Liberty and the way the Republicans exploit the idea that America might be a country that welcomes all outsiders, which is really part of the reason America even exists. But these guys just totally exploit and flaunt it because they just don't like brown people. So, and that's a big part of why we lose the elections, because America has that element too. But I wrote Kavanaugh and Statue, and I brought them to the band not knowing what to expect. But they, as they do everything, they crushed it, and both songs have gotten a ton of play on YouTube.
Then we wrote a song called Perry Mason, and that worked out well, extremely well. But what's funny, this a political song about Ronald Reagan, Social Spit, my other band. Our first political song ever was about it's called Reagan Gun Club, and also about Reagan. Welcome to the Reagan Gun Club. Soon it'll be World War III.
It's an odd thing that the three of us coincidentally all are about the same piece of the left. Our partner Dave was the first one to start hating Elon Musk's guts. and it turned out Musk is like one of the I mean, he's right up there with Trump as a bad element for our society right now. And we just recently did a song which was a hit called Propaganda Man.
It was actually Immigration Man.
Yeah, it was Immigration Man.
Change the word.
Well,
yeah, I changed the lyrics of a CSN song. It was actually Crosby and Nash.
well, let's do this. Let's get to the next track, Truth Dance. Tell us about Truth Dance.
Well, we love Motown music a lot. We've ended up doing a number of songs, and they've been pretty popular for us. It started with a song called "You Turn My Pages," which is one of our most beloved tracks. But then we did Truth Dance, and that went over even better. I mean, people all over were saying this is the best song we've heard in years. So it's a song about a love story between two indie artists, a guy and a girl, and it's just one of the better things I've ever been associated with.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to do this.
It was funny. I was listening to that song for the first time about a week ago, and I don't even remember doing this. But I'm going, God, I mean, did we do this? This is effing great. A lot of these songs, when you play the playlists that we put up on YouTube, you go, God, like I vaguely remember that because we were producing a lot of music. Like when what year did we start? It was about 2010, maybe. I don't remember.
It was. I think the very first track was in 2015.
Yeah, it was the one that you wouldn't let me add the harmonies.
Someone is waiting. It's called. It's a really great song too.
Yeah.
Every song on our playlist has something about it. It's just we're just never going to be discovered by the masses because that kind of thing doesn't happen anymore unless you know somebody.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's do this. We're gonna put you guys on hold, and we're gonna play this track, and it is Truth Dance. Here it is on the Jiggy Jaguar Experience here on 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island. Negative Tendencies, our guest this week here on our program. You can also get more information on our website, jiggyjaguar.com.
She went along, but not without attention. She was as great
That is the Truth Dance, and it is the big broadcast. It is Sunday radio broadcast, live as live can get with Negative Tendencies. We're going to go back to Negative Tendencies.
Sometimes we'll go down there and we'll start playing. We'll just start making up shit, and we'll record it, and sometimes it comes out really.
Negative Tendencies back with us here. Truth Dance, that was the latest from them, and they're with us back here on our big program. So you guys talk to us a little bit about the reaction that you guys get from your music and some of the different feedback you get from your music. Both of you, I'm sure, have varying opinions. Go ahead and share it with us here, my friend. The floor is yours.
Well, everything we put out has been received really well. We have like over 50,000 followers on Twitter. And everything we put out, everybody loves it. And because we don't have a manager and we promote ourselves, I've always been demonstrative and making gloaty comments about our music because it's just a way to make people pay attention in general. And
Right.
I say stuff like we're the house band for Twitter and stuff like that. And I've had a nickname since my solo career of the Last Rock Hope, and that's always the first thing I put, the Last Rock Hope, as the definition of our band. And and I say all this stuff.
People always make comments about that.
Very few people though say, who do you think you are? You know, because the music stands up to the gloats.
It speaks for itself. Actually, like our very latest song was a song about one of the co-owners of VS Planet, and it's called Free Like Danny. And for the first time ever, I got my brother to collaborate with us, and he added these 3 violin tracks, and he's got this graphite violin that he paid something like $50,000 for. I mean, he went broke. I mean, he's rich and he went broke. He went broke after buying that. I wanted it to be in one of our songs. So, and we got some really good reactions to that song. I had links to it of my own up on Facebook and Twitter, and lately Blue Sky, and I've been getting a lot of reposts on it, and people who normally don't listen to our music reacted to it.
Yeah, I entered Free Like Danny in a contest that's going on now, and some of the comments I've gotten is genuinely heartwarming, a heart, and somebody else said, hold on here. What a great tribute to Dan. It almost made me cry. Your vocals were good on this song, perfect for the mood. The band did a great job. So we get those comments all the time, but it's just a fact that people aren't into rock in the same way as they were back. As the Beach Boys song goes, I just wasn't made for these times. There's a Beach Boys song on Pet Sounds called that. And it's kind of like that because I feel like if we'd have been around in the 70s or the 60s, we'd have been huge. But people don't talk about rock anymore. You don't hear a lot of rock when you're watching TV shows. Most of them aren't. They don't use rock in their soundtracks. It's just
right.
It's mainly pop. I mean, I'm known as a lyricist.
That's right.
I'm considered like the top indie lyricist like ever, and I've been called the internet Bob Dylan. But the thing is, the only people listening to any lyrics these days are Taylor Swift fans. So we actually
wrote a song about
we did it. Yeah, I did a song about Taylor Swift, a really good one called "Hate Taylor," and it's taking up
her
for
fans
Taylor
liked it.
again. against all the MAGAs. Yeah, the Swifties loved it.
So we've got an incredible group with us today. Negative Tendencies are with us. They join us live here on our big program. So what do you guys get as far as feedback from folks who we were talking about the political songs earlier? What kind of feedback do you get from MAGA and some of the Donald Trump fans?
Well, you know, it's an honor to say this, but we're MAGA's most hated band. Okay. We get all kind of comments.
Some of them
we get all
like
kind of comments on our YouTube page. We get all kinds of hate comments about our songs. The day Biden finally won that election in 2020, we released a song called "Ding Dong Motherfucker," and that was probably our most popular song we've ever done.
Yeah,
because people played it to celebrate whenever something bad happened to Trump.
It's like, you know, like he went from 91 indictments to fucking, how did this fucking happen? You know, like you got to ask, like, you know, this is broken. How do we fix it? You know, it's like something really bad, something evil is happening, but there's nothing we can do about it. We just got to keep talking about it until somebody listens.
We did do a Sex Pistols tribute called "God Save America." It's not. It's to the tune of "God Save the Queen," but instead of singing "No Future," we're singing "No Justice."
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was really fun to do.
So we've got. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. I'll let you guys talk. I won't cut you off. Go ahead, gentlemen.
We also did a cover of "Young Americans" by Bowie, called "The Un-American," and we did from the Who, from Tommy.
From Tommy. Do you think it's all right? We changed it. Do you think it's okay
like a perfect...
to compromise with Uncle Putin?
Yeah, and it was like musically we did an almost perfect. You know, I mean, it sounds just like the Who. I mean, you know, it was funny. You know, like I wish Dave were here because he could talk about how he does this. I mean, he doesn't just sit down and play the drum beat through the song. He'll do that, but then he'll go in there and he'll add or kick drum to one certain part, and then he'll take my tracks and he'll line them up with his kick drum. And so, you know, but when we're doing these covers, you know, and that was You Think It's Okay, like that was the first time that we all played the music. And was there any others that we did where we played the music ourselves and doing it karaoke style?
Stormy.
Remember what
we did Stormy ourselves. That's another one we changed the lyrics to. But most of the songs on our YouTube page are originals. Dave is kind of like our secret weapon because he has such a vast background in music, not just rock music, where he drums like Keith Moon maybe, but he has a background in all kinds of like, including like big band era stuff. He's played all that stuff, and his production really takes us over the top. He's the quiet one, which is probably the reason he didn't make it to this interview, because he knew about it, but he's the guy that would only say 2 words anyway. So that's probably why he's nowhere to be found today, because he is the quiet guy. But he's a great singer. He's a great keyboard player. His keyboards, he actually put a music site out of business because he sold so many Christmas songs that they couldn't afford to pay him what they owed him.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
No,
But he still does that every Christmas. He makes a Christmas song, you know.
Yeah, he's a Christmas master. He's a, but he's really a powerhouse. I wish he was here to say two words when I said that, but he's not. So
he's Mr. MIDI. He uses and he knows how to use it. I mean, makes when we did Stormy, I let him do the bass, and he did like the deepest, most pure bass tone. But I was able to. There's like a saxophone part at the very end, and I was able to emulate that sound with my guitar, and I got it to sound. I played, and I got I added the effect, and it just cuts right. And then Dave mixed it, and it sounds like the Classics 4, or was it Classics 5? What the hell, whatever the hell they are. But he had a couple of other songs that were similar. He asked me to add guitar to, and I would not want to. He bass on his MIDI, and I would not want to play along with it because he does things that I can't possibly imagine how to do. Yeah,
he played a lot of the stuff in the backing of Truth Dance and really crushed that too.
Right.
Hey, if you have that song I sent, Phrase, which means leaves.
Yes, we actually have that. Tell us about that, and then we'll go to it.
Well, I wanted to. I was hoping you would play one of our songs that kind of shows our bluesy slow music side, because we have a lot of ballads too. We have a whole playlist of ballads, and some of the ballads have been really popular. But this song, everyone loves this Phrase. It's actually the first song that I ever worked up when I bought a 4-track cassette deck back in the day to start recording, and then these guys took it to a whole other level. But it's just a really powerful track. So I was hoping you could play that one.
Definitely. Well, let's do this. Let's put you guys on a brief hold. We're going to play this track. When we come back, we've got more. It is Negative Tendencies. They join us this week here on our Sunday radio broadcast, and it is a great track right now here on 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island. Get a hold of us online at JiggyJaguar.com.
Stopping to watch another century go by. I'm tired of waiting for the change of season. The second hand is quicker than this lie. If you think that you need some reason, I'm afraid you just won't qualify. Glowing in your hand, but you still live in that never land. Cash in your kingdom by a one-way ticket. Let them shove their knowledge in the sand. If you care, then you can lick it. It could cost more than you had planned.
That's Negative Tendencies. It's Flurries. We are going to go back to our guests. They're going to join us live here on the telephone. Negative 10 is back with us. So Negative 10 is back with us here in the program. So how has that track been received by the fans?
Everyone loves it. I mean, I posted this place called The Planet where I've gotten a lot of because of my ways, my negative tendencies, you might say. I take a lot of flack there from people, but that one they probably love more than any of the songs we've done. So.
I'm trying to remember how that one even goes. It's like I think I might have done some weird guitar things in that one. But,
it goes,
I don't
are
even,
you waiting for all the leaves to die?
It's not.
It's a good song for fall.
List of songs here. That was a couple of years ago. Yeah, but we also have a lot of songs about UFOs, like Zeta Reticuli, and we've got a lot of psychedelic songs.
Yeah, we're having a new website come out soon where we'll have 7 playlists on the site. We have Motown, we have Beatley Pop. We just recently did a song called Girls with Bangs that could be an early Beatles type song. And we have Motown, we have political, we have ballads. So
my brother likes Girls with Bangs.
What's that?
I like Girls with Bangs a lot.
Yeah. Thanks.
We've got Negative 10 with us today. They join us live here on our big program. So as we wrap up here with you guys, we have had a fantastic hour with you guys. Before we let you guys go, tell us about the Paranoids, and then we're going to play it here in a few moments.
Okay. Well, it's
that
a song
was a song written by my friend Tim Wade with his friend Kevin Schoen, wrote the basic music, and then we took it and changed the words, and they never recorded it. This is a song we used to play sitting around in a circle with guitars. That these two guys would write all of these weird songs about weird things, and that's just one of. I mean, I used to print up the lyrics in the poetry magazine in high school.
I wrote lyrics to it that fit the MAGA, all the conspiracy theories and the junk. Some of the lyrics in it are like this. This song has lasted the test of time because every day they have new conspiracies. Like some of the lyrics are like this: Satan is behind all this. He works with AOC. Pelosi is a humanoid. They cover up her crimes. Alex Jones's truth got snuffed. The liberal media lies. MSNBC and CNN are run by spies.
Soros owns everything.
The Steele dossier was fraudulent. I read it on Breitbart. The whistleblower must be found and stakes put in his heart. So it has a lot of lyrics like that.
Well, why don't we do this? We're going to put you guys on a brief hold. We are going to play this track, and we're going to come back.
Oh, and it's a secret agent song. I forgot to add that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we want to make sure we get this song in. So we are going to place them on a brief hold. Then we are going to go into this track. It is the Paranoids, and it's here on 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island. Get a hold of us online at KJAG.
strike, and of course the deep state thrive. George Soros pays for everything. He owns the New York Times. Pelosi is a humanoid. They cover up her crimes. Alex Jones is truth got snuffed. The liberal media lies. MSNBC and CNN are run by spies. Got a load of bullshit Devin Nunes will believe. Hillary and Adam Schiff do things you can't conceive. Satan is behind all this. He works with AOC. Ilhan Omar is Bin Laden's job. She is the enemy. Connive to take Trump down. Coronavirus is all fake. The Women's March was funded by some Hollywood snowflake. The FBI is sinister. And Sandy Hook's alive. Clinton's killed Jeff Epstein to, of course, railroad our guy. Socialists are taking over, then they'll hide their sons. The illegals will be voting, and they're gonna take our guns. The Steele dossier was fraudulent. I read it on Breitbart. The whistleblower must be found, and stakes put in his heart. Disinformation, government, gaslight, they all take turns. But impeachment suffocates them, screaming till they burn.
That's Negative Tendencies, and they're here on your Sunday radio broadcast. So we are going to go back to Negative Tendencies. They're going to join us here on the big program, and we are going to finish up chatting with them. So Negative Tendencies join us back here on our big program. We don't have a lot of time. We've got our next guest getting us a call here. How do we get in touch with Negative Tendencies online, buy your music, everything else? How do we do this, guys?
Well, the best way to actually deal with us is to either go to just Twitter at Neg Tendencies or Blue Sky bsky.app/Negative Tendencies.
Fantastic.
Or you could go to
Well, we appreciate it, guys. We really appreciate it. We're up against the clock here. I apologize. We'll have you back on when we can get all three of you on. You guys have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day, gentlemen. And there they go. That is Negative Tendencies. And that wraps it up here for this first hour of our big broadcast.